Jermaine. Just Jermaine. Just Jermaine. Just Jermaine. Just Jermaine. Just Jermaine. Just Jermaine.
I want to welcome y'all to episode 7. And today, we're here with Mr. Daunta Tyler, a.k.a. Rambo.
Yes, sir. What's going on, man?
Not much, man. How you been?
Man, I'm great. I'm blessed. Can't complain, man. I'm happy to be here and chopping it up with you, bro.
Oh, yeah, most def. Now, when you say blessed, man, God is definitely dropping some gifts on your way. I see that you did some writing and producing, and I also saw your vocals was on that track that came out with Arrested Development that was on that Showtime show. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so that joint is called Suit Up. We wrote that record a couple years ago. I was working with the leader of Arrested Development, Speech. We hit it off, and we were just making records. And I just thought, if Arrested Development would like to come out with a record, as far as in today's time, you know what I'm saying? Because they had those records back in the 90s and 80s and stuff like that. So right. I'm like, man, if I had to reinvent them and still keep hold of their vibe, you know what I'm saying? Just kind of rebranding it in a sense. And so Suit Up was one of those records that I felt was a new breakout record for them. And I sent it to Speech, of course. He loved it, and wrote and produced it for him, and it was great, man. And now it's on Showtime, and it's doing big things, man. So I'm very grateful.
Yeah, that's a good look right there. That's a good look, especially with somebody who's right there in North Carolina. A lot of people is failing to realize that North Carolina's on the rise. We got a lot of talent coming out of North Carolina right now that's never been heard of.
Oh, you better know it, man. It's full of talent, man. It's saturated with talent, man. And I'm grateful to be from this wave, man. And it's dope. We got Anthony Hamilton representing. You got Fantasia,
right?
Sunshine Anderson. It's a lot of great talent, man. George Clinton's from North Carolina. I mean, it's a lot of great talent out here, man.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Besides Grammy Award winning Arrested Development, who else you have worked with?
Foxhole, that's Jamie Foxx's production company. I worked with his team for a few years. They helped, tune me and fine tune me. Worked on my pen, helped me become a better writer, and challenged and pushed me to be a better producer and engineer and stuff like that. I started working with them in 2013, and then that kind of opened some doors for me to do some work with Universal. Had a movie placement for Netflix, a movie called Situations. Just different things, man. I would say Foxhole kind of had me in the gym in a sense of just working on my pen and getting better and working on my ear and knowing when I hear a record and knowing how to write certain records, man. And that's pretty much where it kind of, it's kind of like a launching pad for me,
Right.
Yeah.
About how long you been doing music?
I've been doing music 20, 25 years.
Man. And when you start talking about doing music, 20, 25 years, and then you got a lot of upcoming artists, producers, songwriters, beat makers, whoever they are, that wants to be in a situation such as yourself, what type of advice would you give them?
Man, I would say, man, really, number one, make sure this is what you're supposed to be doing. I mean, because the industry is so saturated with people that they think is easy. And I think that's probably in every industry. You got people that really are passionate about it, and then you have people that think it's easy. And I would say really hone in on your craft, man, and just perfect it and polish it and learn. Always remain a student and build relationships. If you would really want your career to go to the next level, you can be the hottest producer, singer, songwriter ever. But if you don't have any people skills, and if you can't build relationships, and if you can't, be there for them and not be all about yourself, you'll never go anywhere. You just you would just be a dope producer in your house or in your studio, And I would say if you have those key elements, the world is yours.
And you're right. It's not easy. It's definitely not easy. Like with myself, I've been mixing over 10 years, over 10, 15 years now, and
Wow.
it's definitely not easy at all.
Nah.
A lot of people think it is, but it's so much you got to put behind perfecting a vocal and perfecting the sound that the producer's looking for. It is so much behind it because you got to take everybody's idea and bring them together and just give everybody what they want, but out of one song, which is almost impossible. But it all depends on the people that you're currently working with, the type of vibe that they got going. And to me, it's definitely not easy.
You know, just think about it. Like, these people are paying you for your ear. You know, they're trusting your taste.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's huge. You know, and like, they're trusting their sound in your hands, like their song, their babies. You know what I mean? In your hands, and they're trusting you to color it in a way that you think is best, that it'll best represent the record. I think that's a huge testament to you being an engineer. I think that's crazy.
Yeah, definitely. Most definitely.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Now, by you being a dynamic person, you know, by songwriting, production, I know I done heard quite a few of your records, and I think they're pretty dope. And
thank you, man.
Technically speaking, you need to be in LA somewhere. You need to be in LA, Atlanta. You know, you need to be somewhere in $1 million studio doing your thing and letting the world hear everything that you got. So with that being said, tell the people where they can go get some of your music and they can listen to your craft.
Man, you can catch me anywhere, man. First thing, I would say Bandcamp. I have a Bandcamp page. I have a lot of my records up there. You can find me at dtyler.bandcamp.com. You can find me there. You can find me on SoundCloud. You can find me on Instagram. Call me _Rambo. You can find me on Facebook. I mean, all you gotta do is Google me. You'll find me. All my links are there. You'll find my music and stuff like that. But honestly, I've been behind the scenes working with other people's projects that, you know, I got to get back working on my stuff, man, and putting some more new records out there. My latest single is Don't Let Go. It's crazy. It's like a Caribbean type vibe, dance type vibe. So it's crazy. It's a right now type record.
Oh yeah, I definitely hear Don't Let Go. And I love the vibe. Like that. Thanks, the song has great energy. I love it.
Thank you, man.
And look, everybody that's out there, go follow this man on Instagram. Follow him on Facebook. I'm trying to tell y'all, you would not be disappointed at the craft that he's putting out there. It is definitely music that needs to be heard. Because right now he has so many unheard records that he has not even released yet. And I know as an artist, explain to the listeners exactly why a lot of these records are not being released.
I think it's a couple things. I think it's like the Dr. Dre syndrome. I think it's me wanting it to be perfect.
Right.
Number one, that's like a gift and a curse at the same time. A lot of my friends, including yourself, always, you know, encourage me to put out more records. Like, yo, come on, bro. Like, what you doing? That's a hit. Like, put it out. Just put it out. But it's like, you know, I think it's like one of those things, man. It's like you love your baby so much and you want it to be right that you don't even want it to come outside. You know, you just keep it in the house. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that's one of the reasons why I do that. And that's probably one of my flaws I got to get over. I just want it to be perfect. I want it to be the best. I don't just want to be good. I want to be the best, you know? I think that's one of the reasons. Number two is that I actually have some records that I'm feeling really great about that no one's heard that I'm going to put out soon. One of them is featuring Speech from Arrested Development.
Mm-hmm.
I'm super excited about that. It's called Way Down Here. I think that's going to be I believe that's going to be a huge record for sure.
I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah, it's going to be a dope record. Trust me.
And I like the way you used the analogy where you said it's like having one of your babies, you want to keep them in the house.
Yeah.
I just wanted to speak on that for a minute. Just like you keep your baby in the house, right? You keep your music on your hard drive.
Right.
But if you keep them in the house, you will never be able to see the full potential of that child. That's the same, and that's the same thing that goes with the music. If you don't release it, you'll never see the full potential of it. So
right.
A lot of parents out there do keep their kids on lock and key, and the kids never get to discover the world. They never get to find out what's out there, what their purpose is and why they're here.
Yeah.
And for those who are being out there in the world, that finding out their purpose, they end up being just like myself. End up being like you. They're able to get out. They're able to communicate with people. They're able to start their own business, which we're going to talk about in a minute. Be able to start their own businesses and make and create their music and everything. So I think if you go ahead and put those records out and watch it grow just like your business, and people if they don't know what your business is I'm gonna let him tell it. I'm gonna let Daunta tell it, because the story behind why he created it is so dope to me.
Thank you, man.
It is so dope. Man, go ahead and take it away, man. Let the people know that title, where it came from, and where they can actually purchase some of your merch.
Oh, you got it, man. First thing, I want to back up a little bit on another reason why I haven't put out music in a while. And this is probably the most important thing to me is that I'm a Christian. And I think that, when I was working with a lot of these big cats, from Atlantic to Universal to Jamie Foxx and all these other people, a lot of these guys, they want you to make music that, I was making music. I can't say what they teach his own, but for me, it was a lot of music that I really wasn't feeling the message. I feel like we have enough records on sex. I feel like we have enough records that are derogatory towards women and not really praising, our women. I feel like we have enough records about being in the club. We got enough records on violence and shooting and killing and drugs and stuff like that. And I feel like we don't have enough, especially our people, our beautiful Black people. We don't have enough music that's uplifting us. And so I decided, I was just truly like convicted, man. And, in a sense, I was just so convicted about I felt like there was more to my pen. I felt like I was living, writing beneath my potential. And I felt like God wasn't pleased with that. And so I decided to switch gears, and I had to kind of rebrand myself in a sense and still make it my message relevant and positive and uplifting, but also make it dope sonically. And so it took me a minute to find my way. And so I'm at a place right now where I'm very satisfied with, putting out music that's going to uplift people. I feel like if you look at any other, culture, race, we have the most, I would say, negative music. It's so negative, and it's so I don't know, it just does, we don't have uplifting music. You know what I mean? And we speak death on ourselves. We pop perk and we glorify those things. And I feel like we become a victim of our own demise. And so I decided that I wasn't going to make any more music that was like that. You know what I mean? And, so I ended up taking a lot of my music down that was condoning that type of stuff. And so I wanted my kids to be proud of me. I wanted my kids to be able to listen to my music in the future and be like, wow, that's my dad. And even now, listening to my music now, and it's like I don't have to turn it down on a certain part that has a bad word or a bad, phrase or whatever. You know what I mean?
That's definitely true.
Yeah. So I just had to say that because I feel like when you're a writer, you have a huge responsibility, whether you know it or not, that you are in control of people's emotions, influence on people. You are a trendsetter. You have so much influence, and so you got to be responsible what you put out there, because you can control, you have influence over someone's day, someone's mind, someone's life. Maybe it's not that deep to you, but it is to me, because if I say that you are beautiful and that I want you to start looking in the mirror, and I want you to start seeing the beauty, that God, put together, and how you one of his prized possessions, then, that's pouring good seeds into you. But if I say you're a thought, if I say, all I want is thoughts. You know what I'm saying? So now it's you know what I mean? So it's I just feel like, it's just a huge responsibility, and people out there that are writing, really think about what you're doing and just know that you have power in that pen. And so, use it for good, man. That's it. I want to be a hero.
Boy, that was a sermon you just gave.
You stupid, man.
That was a sermon you just gave, and I respect it even more because you have two sons and you want to show them the proper way of how to treat these women that's out there, because they're changing the insight of how a man should look at a woman. So if every time you turn on the radio is all about twerking, every time you look on social media, a twerk challenge came out, all of this stuff. So then you got all of these women that's exposing themselves to the point where they can't be who they really are anymore. Because these women, they were something different before they went into the strip club business.
Right.
That's why all of them are trying to get out of the strip club business. They really don't want to do that. So if you really don't want to do it, then why are you rapping about it all the time? I understand, you know what they say when it comes to marketing, you know, sex sales, everything like that sells now. And that's big now. So they're just riding a wave. But eventually this wave is going to go out. And the next wave that I honestly feel like that's going to come in and take over is the feel good music is going to come back. To where the music, you turn on a track and it makes you feel good about yourself. I believe the next wave of music is going to decrease the rate of suicides. It's going to decrease the rate of depression. And, you know, and all of these things that the enemy is trying to bind our people in, I think the next wave of music is going to take them out of it. I know it's going to be a tough one. And we got some up and coming artists such as yourself. Damian Taylor dropped his Rise album. We got Siobhan that's about to drop. I Messed Up. I actually did set with him on a different episode, and he explained why he came out with I Messed Up and what it was about. How a guy basically, you know, he went to prison and how he met Christ through prison. That's crazy because that actually happens in real life, but those stories are never told. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing now with this podcast, to tell the untold stories from the mouths that I never heard from. And, you know, you turn on your radio, same 13 songs. You look on TV, same 13, 20 people still. I mean, it's the same thing all the time. But what about the real MCs, the real artists, the real songwriters like yourself, the real producers? Y'all guys have some of the best talent I have ever seen with my own eyes. Y'all like vocals is phenomenal. Like when we first met, you know, we met in the studio.
Right. I
had no clue that you could even sing. I just thought you was just a producer.
Right.
But the thing was, I felt something. It's like God spoke to me and I felt something. And I was like, yo, God got something on this man's life. Whatever it is huge, because anytime I could feel it spiritually like that, it's something big. So, man, with that movement that you're doing, man, you keep right on going, bro. I'm trying to tell you, man, you keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. And as you can see, doors are already starting to open up. Man, you starting to do first class work with not Grammy nominated people, but Grammy award winning people. So guess what's next on the door?
Amen.
Exactly. They say, if that window is open and them blessings is pouring out, all you gotta do is stand under it. One of them blessings gonna hit you. So, you know, I pray and you know what I'm saying, I pray that every day that you will be very successful at what you're doing and you following in the will of God, and he puts you exactly where you belong.
Thank you, man. Same here, man. I mean, you know, it's about that legacy and just to pick it and just to kind of go back into you know, the clothing line, that kind of leads me there because it's about that legacy. And, you know, I started a clothing line with my 7-year-old. He was 6 at the time. It's called Giant Apparel. And so basically it started when my son was like dealing with some confidence issues. And, you know, my son is like super strong. He has my build. He's broad, big hands, you know, stuff like that. And I'm like, you have no reason to be like, you know, having confidence issues, you know what I mean?
Right.
And so we were just chopping it up and he was just telling me why, you know, he wasn't really believing himself about a couple things. And I'm like, son, you know, when you walk into a room, like God gave us like this giant on the inside. And it's like, you know, it's called courage. And so when you walk in the room, even when you're afraid, like you have to walk in that giant. When you speak into a crowd, you gotta speak through that giant. And so even when you're afraid, because we all get afraid, that you have to be courageous. You gotta, you know, you have to access that giant. You gotta walk in it. And so I realized in that conversation there was some things in me that I wasn't being a giant about, and so I decided to be a template. Instead of just preaching to them, I decided to show them what it looks like to be courageous. And so we both started this clothing line called Giant Apparel, and to inspire people, inspire fathers, and fathers to be in the home and be there for their kids, and to mothers, even though they still had, they had kids and they had their own dreams, and they put their dreams to the side to raise their family, sacrifice their dreams for their families, to pick those dreams back up and walk them out regardless, and to everyone to fulfill their potential, maximize their purpose, maximize their potential. And, that's really what it was about. Like, that's really what it is about, just inspiring people and to be a giant. And even though we all be afraid, like, at times, we got to access that giant. We got to walk in it and be courageous. And so that's how Giant Apparel came about. So far, it's been doing great. You can find the merch on Giant Apparel Co. That's giantapparelco.com. We got a whole bunch of things out there. We're about to release some more stuff out there. And I'm super excited. Thank you. Super excited.
That's what I'm talking about. You on Twitter?
I'm on Twitter, man. I'm be honest, man. I got to do better with Twitter, man. Twitter is like, I don't know, man. Twitter is one of those, it's like, I don't know. I got a Twitter, but I'm be honest, y'all probably won't find me on Twitter, even though I have a page up there. I probably ain't post on Twitter in months. You'll find me on Instagram, though. It's giantapparel_co. Giantapparel_co. Or you can find me on Facebook, Giant Apparel Co. You can find me there. And you can get your merchandise. You can reach out to me. People even, been hitting us up, just kind of, letting us know, like, some of the things that they're trying to be courageous about. And so it's been a really good positive movement for people. And so I'm very grateful. It also, my son inspired other kids to, to step into entrepreneurship. And, one of my friends, Byron, he reached out to me and he said that, because of my son and us, venturing together with this movement, that it inspired his daughter.
Wow.
His 12-year-old daughter to start her own business.
Bro, so you mean to tell me that this idea is not just affecting the present, you changing the future?
Yeah, amen.
Bro, that is deep.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That is deep.
Yeah,
man. Boy, you knocked the pause in me for a minute, boy. I went speechless for a second, man.
Yeah, man. Just trying to, live out my dreams, man. We all got a dream. We all got dreams. Just like this podcast and everything that you're striving to do, we all got dreams. We just got to walk it out.
But whoever would have known that your dream was not even meant for you?
That's crazy. I like that.
You're saving the lives of little kids. You're changing the future. These kids can turn around and be our future senators and governors and judges and DAs and future presidents. You're changing them just because of what you nested inside of your own son, because you took the time. And that's all it is. You took the time to invest knowledge inside of your own child, and it spread it and started hitting other people's kids. Man, that is so powerful. Now, I'm going to tell you, man, you protect your son with all costs. You protect him.
Yes, sir.
And you protect yourself as well. When, with the power of God, he's always around us anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely going to be praying to keep his war angels around you. So when them haters started coming, get away. When, you know what I'm saying, you got people who trying to stop that blessing, get away. They can't even get 5 feet. They can't even get 10 feet close to you. I'm going to start praying for those type of things, because I love when somebody is doing something and that is not even about themselves, and that's changing not only their present, but they're changing their future. Oh, man, bruh. That is tough. Like I said, man, you knocked the pause in me a little bit with that one, boy, because you done dropped two golden nuggets right there, man.
Yeah. Amen, bro.
That is crazy. Love it. So now everybody got your handles for your apparel.
Yeah.
Let them know your musical handles.
So my musical handles, you're gonna find me on again Bandcamp. Go to dtyler.bandcamp.com. You can find me on Instagram. Call me _Rambo. I'm actually Rambo about to be everything. It's about to be Rambo everything. And so y'all just go ahead and go ahead and get on that, because it's and Rambo basically is like I don't want to say an alter ego, but it's a mode that we all have. It's like go mode. You know what I mean? For me, that's what I got the Rambo idea from. It's like it's go mode. It's like I don't have time to waste time and spend time on relationships that aren't fruitful. The Bible speaks about cutting those things off that are unfruitful. And so like I don't have time to be around people that aren't positive. I don't have time to, waste time. I'm 33 years old and I feel like that go mode, you know what I mean? Like that's where I'm at. Like it's about that legacy for me. And it's like, I'm tired of, you ever just get tired of like saying you're going to do something and it just never happens. You just never do it. Like I really want to get in shape, but I never go to the gym. I just don't have time. Right. And so it's like, man, like I just like, I want to be proud of myself. I want to be proud of me. And I want to be proud of who I see when I look into the mirror. And so when I get up in the morning, it's Rambo. It's go mode. And like my wife, like she's, she be in her Rambo mode. Like, and that's just, it's just a switch, it's my switch. And it's just, you just access that mode, man. And it's like, ain't nothing stopping you.
Man, I love that. I love that. Yeah. Rambo. Like, I mean, think about it. Women, moms, like, bro, like they be staying on the Rambo mode. Like they get up in the morning super early, cook breakfast, get the kids off of school, get their clothes, pack their lunch, go to work. You know what I'm saying? Take care of the house, or whatever, their business, whatever they're doing. Like women, like women stay on Rambo mode, like go mode. So, we can learn a lot from them. You know what I mean? In that regard, like, and so that's where Rambo came from. Just go mode, man. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. Yeah. Before you go, this is something that I do with everybody, every artist that hits this line. And I know I catch them off guard all the time, because I know the people be like, okay, for those who that are listening to the podcast that may not know you, you gotta hit them with 1 or 2 bars.
1 or 2 bars.
Just 1 or 2 bars. Let them hear that voice, so they can go ahead and cop all your music. They can start following you. They can go ahead and get on this Giant Apparel. They can go ahead and get part of the. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully this reach out to millions so everybody can be a part of this movement. And hopefully what you're nesting inside of your son can bring the next fathers and mothers to go nest inside of their daughters and sons. And then they can, and it just keeps going on and on and on, so we can make this world a better place.
Sounds good, man. I'm gonna hit you with that Suit Up, man. The Suit Up was the record that was featured on Showtime on The Shy, second season, 9th episode, featuring myself and Arrested Development. And it goes like this. Oh, I got my button up, press down, turn up. I'ma get my 2-step on. Let's go, suit up. Oh, I got my button up, press down, because tonight, girl, it's our night. Suit up.
That's what I'm talking about. And I appreciate that, bro. I appreciate you hitting those couple bars for me.
Yes,
so with music like that, man, that's what we need to get back to, man. Love. Because we're losing it. We're definitely losing it. And with that being said, man, I appreciate everybody taking a listen on episode 7. And keep your ears open. Keep your eyes closed. And a lot of y'all won't understand it, but the true ones do. Peace.